face masked up. I was gloves. I was everything. It was good. And then I hit Target right after because I said, while I'm at it, I might as well. And then I came home and I took a bath in some bleach. So everything's good.
Good.
Good times.
Not overreacting at all.
I love it. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get on our, again, we're using the new
Hey, Kelly Bob.
Kelly Bob, what's happening, brother? How's life in Texas? Kelly Bob is a great realtor. He's good friends with Nancy Beebe as well. So he's a realtor.
We met him. I met him for the first time at that. What was that? The Tom Ferry Summit.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool guy, man.
Yeah.
Great agent.
And new and aggressive and young. Hey, Kelly, what market do you work in? Oh, Gainesville, Texas. You already
just said Gainesville.
See, I am not a multitasker. I am,
So what are we going to talk about? So yesterday we did something for the first time that was really fun. Tom, what was that?
We did a virtual open house on 2 of our listings, and I can't get on it. So I'm just going to leave it to Kenny. So we did a virtual open house on 2 of our listings in Kama'ole Sands. And it was really cool. Jordan was at one unit, 6204, and I was at another unit, 5108, in Kihei, and they're both for sale. And Kenny was in Connecticut, and Kenny was at the control panel. So it's sort of this new system that we're now using, running, selling. Yeah, there you go, Kelly. So this new system we're using called StreamYard. It's a streaming system where we can go to multiple platforms, and it was really fun because Jordan would be doing the walkthrough just like we were clients, and then I did it, and then we were able to talk back and forth about the property, and then we had clients that were following it, that were asking questions, and so we were able to get the information for them, and we did it. So we did it for an hour, and I did a tour, Jordan did a tour. We took a few minute break. We talked about the South Maui Bingo, and then we went back and we did another 2 tours for people that were jumping on. And I think it was really,
I think it was really cool because it was interesting because there's both almost identical units, same seller, but in different areas of the complex. So it was kind of interesting to be able to speak to that. And we're able to kind of discuss, a lot of buyers from the mainland don't really necessarily know about what the best parts of the complex are. And we were kind of able to show that live in person, whereas, one unit might work better for another person as opposed to a different buyer. So it's pretty cool, I think, just to get that perspective too. And we're able to do that live. We've never been able to do that before, a simultaneous, open house and stream it. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out.
And the other cool things too is Kenny was at the control panel. And so he was bringing up, like, we couldn't leave the units because our internet we needed to stay in where the internet was. But Kenny was able to take us out. We have 360-degree videos. So Kenny was able to take us out to the beach and show the beach right in front of the property. And I thought that was pretty darn cool as well, as we were able to segue into different parts and then, cover the different places you can walk to. When I was telling Lori, my wife, about this, what we were going to do, she said, well, make sure you talk about where you can get to from the units because the people are going to be all over the country. So it's really helpful. I want to know, if I walk from the unit, what can I walk to easily? And I thought that's where we brought the restaurants that are really close by and the activities and events. So it just was really a lot of fun. I was a little nervous because I didn't know how to go. We started, I think, 10 minutes late because it's like, oh, how the hell we do this? But, it's a process, right? You just try and you figure it all out. So.
Yeah. And we're going to keep doing it. Our next one is going to be on Thursday. And a little bit of a different product. We're doing a little higher end. And what 2 properties, Tom? What are we doing?
So we're going to do a really cool contemporary luxury home in Wailea Golf Vistas, priced right around $4 million. And then it's got really cool views. It's right on a golf course. It's got an amazing swimming pool. And so that one we're planning on doing tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to be there. We're figuring that out. And then Jordan is going to be at our Wailea Beach Villas listing that just came on the market 2 days ago. And that unit is, it's 3,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms and a den that they use as a bedroom. It's vacation rentable. It's right on it's a waterfront complex, and this one's a few minutes from the beach, and it's so cool. And it's just a big unit, and they generate, I think, not counting this past few months when everything got shut down, but for the last few years, they've generated somewhere in the neighborhood of $350,000 to $375,000 in rental revenue. So that's huge. I mean, the price of the unit is huge. It's $6.2 million roughly, and the house is, I think, $4.2 million, somewhere around there. But still, they're really cool properties.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I put your shirt out in the mail to you. You should get it any day.
If you haven't seen our last, what was it, last week we did our podcast. Karen has a new book that's out, and we talked about it. So we'll watch that one.
Maybe when we get Angela back on, or maybe we'll get Karen on the show just to bring her on and talk about her book. That would be fun.
Thursday, we should let them know what time we're doing it at 11 a.m. Hawaii time, right? So
11 a.m. Hawaii.
We're posting it, yep.
2 o'clock on East or West Coast, 3 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 o'clock Central, and 5 o'clock on the East Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, you can sort of, be preparing dinner and check out your new property here in Maui. And we ran for about an hour, and we were, like I said, we were supposed to be on at 11. I think we hit the airwaves about 11:10. And I think we're still going to, every time we go to a new location, getting the internet is really the big problem, is connecting all of the right setups. And we know that now. So 11-ish, we're going to say. How's that?
Perfect. That's what they call island time, right?
That's
Hawaii time.
Exactly. So, what else are we doing, Jordan? What's happening here on Maui?
Not much. I mean, we talk about the face mask. I know you wanted to kind of touch on what's going on here on Maui, and people might be wondering. The beaches, we talked about this, I think was the last time or the time before, but basically what happened was the governor made this blanket law saying that nobody could exercise on the beach anymore. Our Tom actually saved the day and wrote an email, and he was solely responsible. No, no, Tom was, he posted this thing on Facebook, and I saw a bunch of other people post it too, and it's basically a petition to say, hey, Mayor, this is not right. We shouldn't be doing this. I mean, it may work on, maybe prudent to do this on Oahu, but on Maui, it's not much of an issue, and taking away exercising on the beach is ridiculous. And so Mayor Victorino, after hearing all these petitions and stuff, wrote a letter to the governor and overruled it, which was yes, and we all need the beach right on us, right, Janine? And so actually last night I went for a sunset walk on the beach, and it was so great to see that it's still open. A bunch of other people walking the beach, and I think it's just important that you got to be able to get outside, and especially here in Maui. So
I think just to clarify, I didn't start the petition.
So I was just joking.
Although I look back and I think, oh, it's been pretty cool. But a friend of mine started it, sent it to me in an email, and then I just shared it with everybody, so that I know. And then I did that, and a bunch of other people did that, and then it exploded, and I think they had, I don't know, 5,000 signatures in 7 hours. And that's when Mayor Victorino realized that he had to take care of his constituents. And now there's, I've grown up in politics all my life, and I find it fascinating. And it's the political arena right here in Maui, in Hawaii right now, is getting rather interesting. With the governor and the mayors are sort of at odds with each other. And so, which I get, I think a lot of people are at odds with each other just because we're in such a new time. And weeks ago when this all started, I think I'd said, we are all going to be guilty of doing and or saying things that we will regret, and we need to just give everybody grace. Put those things, when you think about, oh, that person was such a jerk, or I can't believe they said that, you sort of just need to put that in a box and up on a shelf and forget about it, because it's such a hard time. I mean, there is no playbook for this, right? This is not something that somebody can go and say, oh, this is the way we handle it. Nobody knows. So
Right.
We're figuring it out. But I do find it fascinating watching the governor says one thing, and like they were talking about, the biggest thing right now, and it's almost amusing, is flower delivery for Mother's Day has become the hottest topic on the news, and it just cracks me up because then we were this week. The governor said yes, or somebody said yes, flower delivery is okay. Then the governor said no, flower delivery is not okay. Whoever said that shouldn't have said it. And then they flip flopped, and before he was able to make the announcement, Mayor Victorino said flower delivery is going to be okay. And then an hour later, the governor had to come on and the news media was saying, "Oh, well, Ige said the flower delivery is going to be okay, but Mayor Victorino told everybody before he got to." So it's just this, it's just find it fascinating to watch these things. Anyway, I was on a ramble there. So hopefully we get out of this pretty quick. But in the meantime, we still are challenged. And we've been just started this past week a new, I don't know what you'd call it. What is it, Kenny, Jordan? It's not a fundraiser. It's an activity.
Yeah, it's an activity.
It's a local business booster. How about that?
Yeah.
Local business booster. There it is.
It's a pep rally, a digital pep rally.
That's a good one too.
Okay, yeah, digital pep rally. So what we're doing is you may have heard about it. It's we're doing what's called open house. Not open house. I'm reading the notes. South Maui Takeout Bingo. And so we're encouraging all of our listeners and friends and community to go and support the local restaurants and order takeout. And we created a bingo board so that you can, if you buy food at 5 restaurants in any order on the bingo board, like a bingo board would be, diagonal, down, or across, you get a bingo, you submit that to us, and we're going to give away $250. I was doing a live video the other day, and I said $250,000. I was like, no, it's going to be $250 in gift certificates to the restaurants that you supported in your bingo card. So I thought that's a great way to help everybody, motivate people. And then Kenny, tell them, I got to grab a water. Kenny, tell them about the bonus game that we're also doing, and we're going to start it today.
Yeah, so we have a super fun bonus game where you can win additional gift certificates. So we have some gift certificates we've purchased, others that have been donated by the restaurants themselves out of gratitude. But basically all you have to do is post a photo of your food to your Instagram feed and then tag us and use the hashtag South Maui Takeout Bingo. And then you're able to potentially win one of these gift cards. So today we're going to be raffling off, I guess, 2 of them.
Oh, yes. I think it's important to say, I don't think you said it yet, but if people are on the mainland, what can they do, Tom?
They can go online to the websites and buy gift certificates.
Yes.
Post a picture of the gift certificate, like Sandy Marshall, who is in our drawing today. Sandy Marshall bought a gift certificate, took a picture, and posted it and tagged it. So 2 things. Sorry, the hashtag is like really long, guys. South Maui Takeout Bingo. But it will populate because we're getting a lot of activity on it. And then take a picture and post it. And then every Wednesday, we're going to have a drawing with the people that posted. And we're going to give away 2 gift certificates. And also, it doesn't have to be a restaurant on the bingo card. It just has to be any Maui restaurant that you supported. Take a picture of your food, take a picture of the gift certificate, and we'll enter you in the drawing. So, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think so.
Jordan, a drum roll, please.
Hey, I'll pick it.
Okay. Here, Jordan. There you go. You pick it, Jordan.
Oh,
there you go.
Whoa, that's creepy.
Whoa.
Oh, but hey, here, throw it to me so I can read it, Jordan.
Oh, wait. Sorry, to Kenny, sorry.
Just who I mentioned, Sandy Marshall. Sandy Marshall is a winner. Hey, Lori Carlson. So
thanks,
Sandy Marshall is going to get a gift certificate. I'm going to pick this one, though, Jordan. It was way too hard to have you pick the other one.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Pretty hard.
And this one, we don't know who it is, but hopefully we can figure it out, Kenny. Crystallize8 is their Instagram tag.
Yep.
So
I will reach out and I'll DM them on Instagram.
Okay, so we'll see that they won. So
awesome.
post again, hashtag 808 bingo. Any of the restaurant foods that you buy this week, and we'll put you in the drawing for next week. Post the name of the restaurant too, or at 808 or at whatever. If you can put that in there, just to give them some juice. I think it's nice to do that, and they'll be reaching out. As it's all firing up this week, we're starting to get some more activity. I know that Doc Kitchen is in it, and they're going to start promoting it on their social media. Who else? Some of the other restaurants: 808 Deli, Doc Kitchen, Coconut, Fabiani's, Maui, Thailand Cuisine. I went there last night. Isana, Pita Paradise.
A bunch of
Cafe La Plage. There's a bunch of places.
It may be good to mention actually that Crystallize 8, her winning post was for Peggy Sue's.
Oh, that's another one.
Peggy Sue's, sweet.
Yep. And then Sandy, actually Sandy, we put you in, but you picked a restaurant that wasn't actually on the board, but you tagged us, so we put you in.
But they don't have to be for the weekly drawing. They don't have to be on the board though, Kenny.
That's right. My bad.
Yeah. So,
I'm confusing our own rules.
Still counts.
Still counts. Yeah, we don't want to be exclusive on who's good and who we want to support. We want to support everybody. It's just there's only 25 squares on a bingo board, so there was only 25 squares. So that's our other drawing is to help all the restaurants. We don't want to be exclusive.
Yes.
Hey, Charleston, South Carolina, how you guys doing out there? Lisa, thanks for joining us.
We also have another person, Tom. Laurie Carlson said hi.
Oh, hey, Laurie Carlson. Hey, darling, how you doing? I was just on she's a realtor in South
Florida.
West Florida. And if you need help with real estate over in Southwest Florida, if you're on the mainland, they do a great job. Coral Gables, a couple other places. Laurie, if you're still on, post where you guys are, what markets you work in, so I don't miss it.
We have a question about takeout.
Can we also use Maui takeout bingo? Absolutely, we'll search for that. Thanks, Lisa. We said if we'll look for takeout bingo somehow or another. We'll just put a couple different ones in. We would love you to use South Maui takeout bingo because that's the one we're searching. But you just get it out there and we'll find it. We've got Lisa is hard to work and trying to make this a little easier, and we'll be posting it now that we've got some of the bugs worked out. We did this sort of last minute. We from the inception to the presentation, it was about 5 or 6 days. And as we put it out there, it's like, oops, this restaurant isn't open. Oops, there's some misspellings. So, it's just the way we fly. We're just trying to get it going. One other thing too is I think, maybe this would be a good time to segue into what we were talking about, predictions. I think that before May 31st, when the end of the bingo is up, I think we're going to be seeing limited ability for people to go into restaurants and sit down and eat. So if that happens, we called it takeout bingo. If you can go in, that still counts. We're not trying to. We want just people to support our local businesses. That's the bottom line. So if it's eat in, take out, whatever you do, just get your receipt, take a picture, post a picture of you at the table if they open up. And we'd love to support everybody that's out there helping us out. So
yeah. Speaking of predictions, Tom, what do you think is on the horizon for real estate specifically?
It's again, there is no playbook. What I find interesting in the last 5-6 days, I have had several old clients and new clients reach out and say, hey, I've been wanting to buy in Maui. What do you think? Is there opportunity right now? Is there a way that I can maybe help somebody get out of a property that needs to get out? And do you think that our property selling? Is there an opportunity to get a value? Our price is going to go down. And, it's a delicate situation. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to definitely see some folks that need to sell. Just the reality of it is maybe they needed to sell before this and now they really need to sell. And so we're going to see some people that are going to probably offer their properties at a value price. And I think there's some people out there that are going to say, hey, I'm ready to buy. My world has gone crazy. I've all of a sudden, we've all, I think, had a few moments in our last 4 to 5 weeks that we've had time to reflect and say, whew, what am I going to do different? This has changed the way I'm looking at the world. And for some of those people, it's like, I'm not using my Maui property. I need to sell that and buy something closer to home, or I need to get the cash because I'm strapped because it didn't work out. I think there's other people that are going to say, I'm tired of working 7 days a week. I'm tired of being in the grind, and I can do this now because of Zoom. I can work from somewhere else, and I need to go and live a little bit more of my life instead of living to work. So I think we're going to see some of that happening. So that being said, I think we're going to see, for the short term, 3-4 months, I think there's going to be some unfortunate sellers that are going to probably have to put their properties out at a value. And I think there's going to be some buyers who are going to say, hey, this is the opportunity, or now I can afford it at this point. So that's what I see happening. Again, it's all crystal ball stuff. There is no playbook for this. And we'll see in 3 or 4 months how it all shakes out. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I've had the same kind of response from a few past clients and some new people I've talked to as well. I think people are starting to think, on the buyer side, saying, hey, what's out there? I think a lot of people are getting restless too with all the quarantine and stuff. And a lot of people that usually come to Maui are missing Maui. And of course, that all depends on the restrictions, of course, on what our government is allowing as far as people coming in. But the good thing that we were talking about earlier is that so much of what we have done prior and are doing more of now is virtual showings, virtual open houses like we did on Tuesday and Thursday. So we can, and both Tom and I have sold properties to buyers sight unseen, that can't literally get here before. And now I think that's, me and Tom were kind of chatting about it. That's going to become more of a business model moving forward. So it's kind of interesting to see that shift, and being able to stay on top of that, I think, is important. And as Tom was saying, the inventory is just kind of, especially for vacation rentals, you're seeing a lot more sellers that I think are sitting on, investments that they bought, and now they're not making the money that they were making. So, our under 600,000 in Kihei, there went from, six units available 3 months ago to about 45 units available right now. So there's a lot more inventory. I think, like Tom said, it'll be interesting to see in the next 2 to 3 months what's going to happen, especially as probably the restrictions may get laxed a little bit. Possibly, again, it's all crystal ball, like Tom's saying, but it'll be interesting to kind of, and again, it's crystal ball. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but that's kind of what we feel like there may be an influx in a little bit, in a couple months or so. So, right, Tom?
Totally.
Yep, absolutely. And again, I think supply and demand drives every market, not just real estate, right? If you were going out to buy donuts and the donut maker had 1,000 donuts and he only had 100 customers, he's going to sell the donuts pretty cheap. If he's only got 20 donuts and he's got 100 customers, the donuts are going to get pretty expensive. It's
like toilet paper.
It's like toilet paper, just like toilet paper. So we'll see, though. I don't know. I think it was a really good point that you made, Jordan. I don't want people to think, oh my gosh, they're telling people to come into Maui and buy real estate. No, we can do this independent. We can do this sight unseen. We can do it with video. We can do it with tours. And I've been doing it for 18 years that way. So it's not new. It's just, it was never our first choice. It was always our second choice, but now it's going to become much more easy. And anyway, it's going to become easier. And I think a lot of people, a lot of consumers are getting so comfortable with Zoom and that communications style that we'll be able to do things. And it's our goal to, if we're showing a property, we're going to not just show the inside of the property. We're going to take you and show you the outside and around the property, because that's going to help. And I think, Jordan, you pointed out on another call we were on, our knowledge of the area and that resource, when we have people that get comfortable with us and trust us, there's a lot of value in that. It's the stuff that we know from selling real estate isn't something that you can go on, Zillow or Realtor.com or a website and read as a general rule. So, any other questions, Kenny?
Oh, we do have a nice, I like this comment right here. A suggestion, maybe.
Oh, Mom. How While stocking a condo full of toilet paper and so we should stock all our listings right now with a ton of toilet paper. There we go.
It's not a bad
There you
idea. Yeah,
So-
I guess the only other question is, like, when, I don't know if you guys have predictions. No one knows. We're not government officials, but it's one of those
Thank
tricky things, tricky things of when is everything going to open back up? Like, for example, as some people know, I came to be closer with my family, so I'm in Connecticut, and I keep thinking about, I'm gonna head back, and then I'm like, oh, but then I'm gonna have to continue for an extra 2 weeks, most likely. And I don't know if you guys have predictions, if you maybe are more in the know than I am on when things like that may loosen.
I'm just sending a message. I got somebody in an emergency situation.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so Jordan, why don't you start with that?
Yeah, I think that one's a little more tricky to kind of gauge. I mean, obviously we can give a little more insight on the real estate side, but when it comes to that kind of situation, it's tough. And as we were talking about earlier, I mean, it's hard to get our island's government, officials to agree on one thing. And I think it's interesting too in Hawaii as a whole, whereas other states, it's a little more consistent. There's different areas within the states, but with Hawaii, it's different islands.
Yeah.
And like we saw with the beach law, it's like, yeah, the restriction blanket law on no exercise on the beach might be good for Oahu just because there's so much people there. Whereas
Right.
Maui, it didn't apply as much. So, doing like it, I think it's just going to be a difficult battle, or not a battle, but just a discussion just to try to get everybody on the board on the same page, doing the same thing. I think that's been the issue. So I don't know. Tom, what do you think? I mean, it's hard. That one's a really tough one
Well,
to say.
I think that, the fear is Hawaii as a state has been one of the lowest impacted places in the country. And so it's like, okay, open up. And I get that there's a big fear with that, because what I think the folks who live here are thinking, we don't want all the people, the doors open up to Hawaii, and then everybody rushes to the airport from all of these other places and then comes here and brings all of that kind of stuff.
The germs.
And so that's what I think the bigger, greater underlying fear is keep the tourists out, which I understand. I think the world's got to go on. The problem is, especially for Maui, is that our tourism business is about, 70% of the economy. 50, we went from the lowest unemployment in the country to the highest unemployment in the country in about 2 weeks. Because we're so service oriented, and that's the problem with Maui is we're a one industry island, and that's a challenge. That all being said, I think we are going to open up. I think we're going to see the restaurants open up. I think we're going to open up for the local population sooner than the end of May, because I think that there'll be a revolt if there's not. And I think Mayor Victorino is leading that charge right now to set the groundwork for, hey, Governor Ige, we recognize you need to keep the state safe, but I need to keep the island of Maui moving and start business and start things happening. And that's what I'm sort of interpreting and with what's happening. And I think that we're going to see Maui loosen up in the next week to 2 weeks. I just heard him talking about golf courses are going to start opening up. I think we're going to start seeing restaurants open up within the next 2 weeks. So I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
When are tourists going to be able to get off the plane, and when is the quarantine going to end? I'm concerned that right now they're saying until May 31st. I think it might go longer than that. So I think the islands will open up for the people who live there, but I think that for tourism, we may be a little bit pushed back. But that being said, currently the hotels are scheduled to open June 1st.
Yeah.
Their schedules, not in the government schedules.
Yeah, I was going to say it's actually pretty interesting. The control, I know we've been going a while, but just the quick thing is that the restrictions, I realize now, are actually have gotten much stricter for Hawaii specifically. I'm in Connecticut. We've been hit significantly harder than the entire state of Hawaii. Also, obviously, a little bit less vulnerable considering we're not an island. But things like golf courses and that, they're still open. They have like there's new rules, but like I don't really golf, but I went golfing with my family last week, and the golf courses are open, and all of that is, you just have to follow much stricter guidelines. So it's interesting to hear that as much as Hawaii itself has been hit on the minimal side compared to certain places, things are a lot stricter in terms of what you're able to do. Like we don't have street stops. You're not going to get stopped by cops if you're driving to the grocery store, even though we have, like 20,000 cases.
And I've heard less now in the last week. I have heard hardly anybody talking about being pulled over and the National Guard. That sort of has disappeared. I don't know. How about you, Jordan? Have you heard any of that?
Yeah, no, I think they kind of just made a point of it by doing it. For that, I think it was like a few weeks ago, and they were really clamping down. But yeah, I think they kind of eased up on it a little bit.
I think they were getting a little bit of. I think the politicians were getting like, "Hey, this is police arrest here or martial law, and we're not going to stand for it." And I think they started, in their minds, losing votes. Is what it, it's sort of what it comes down to, and so they had to back off. But I was just talking to a property manager at a property that will remain nameless. The swimming pool's closed. It's like, oh, when's the pool going to open up? He said, oh, it's not going to open up for a while. It's like, whoa, really? I said, it's a private pool. And he said, there's two very divided factions of perspective. He said, there are still a lot of people who are very much concerned with opening stuff like that up. So, and they've got to work through it. And I don't know, again, back to no playbook. I don't know the right and wrong answer. So time will tell. But that's my prediction is we're going to be able to sit down in a restaurant by the middle of May and have
with face masks.
With face masks, I think with face masks, and I think that you're going to what I've seen now. This common is 50% occupancy, so they're going to take half of the tables out, half of the chairs out, and you're going to be able to sit there with your family. And there's going to be a limitation on how many people are going to be at a table. And I think your servers are all going to be wearing gloves and face masks. And you're either going to have their menus are either going to be on TV boards or a menu that they're going to give you that's paper that they're going to throw in the garbage after you touch it. That's what I see with that. Because we've got to start opening up.
She's like, how do you eat with a face mask on? That's a good point.
Amy, we're going to figure it out. So, hey, Katie, how's things in Arizona? How's your business? Katie's a realtor in Arizona, a friend of mine through my network. So speaking of that, there's been several people who've popped on here that are realtors in other parts of the country. Katie's in Arizona. We had South Florida. If you are thinking about, if you need help buying real estate anywhere else, between Jordan and I, we know agents all over the country. And it's just like anything else. You want to make sure that you're working with an agent that knows what they're doing. The agents that we have gotten to know are part of big organizations that are really teaching and training everybody how to be the best agents possible. So we can definitely connect you with some of those people. Shameless plug for referrals right there, Jordan. But it is.
No, I think it's interesting. I think it's important too, because a lot of these agents are doing the same thing as us. They're trying to stay on the cutting edge, and right now the cutting edge is more important than ever. Doing everything through virtual, figuring out the ways to manage real estate right now. So I think it's more important than ever. Ultimately.
Yeah. And these agents that are on here that I'm networking literally all over the world right now with agents to say, hey, how are you doing this? Because we're all learning. And I was on a call with Lori Carlson yesterday. She's teaching me all about how to do something that I haven't done. And it's like, wow, what a great idea. And then we were on another call with another agent from California who's taught us a little bit of how to do virtual open houses. And they're doing it a little different. So it's a great opportunity to have these networks everywhere that we work with people. And so if you guys are looking at buying, and if you're in that position, if you're one of those people who say, hey, I think there might be opportunity, depending on where you're looking, there might be, let us know. We can point you in the right direction. But Jordan, I was on a call this morning, and there are still markets. It was with all over the world again. There are still markets that there's no inventory, multiple offers, housing shortage, and it's just not stopping. That's not the case in Maui, but I know that there's some traditional real estate markets that they're doing business different, but they're still doing business, and it's softened, but still there was so much demand that they're cranking it out. They're still cranking it out. Anyway, we've been rambling. How long have we been out?
Been on for a little bit.
Woo! But all right. Well,
All right. Here's the proverbial hook.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, other
Before
way.
we go, so there is a delay for all you guys too that are posting comments. We've got about probably a 10 or 15-second delay, so we apologize. We wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been on with us. Please support all of our Maui restaurants. They really, really need it right now. They're still keeping people employed. Go to the restaurants, buy some food, play bingo. If you live in Maui, get a bingo card at www.tomtezak.com/bingo, or go to our Facebook, Lifestyle Maui Team. We've got it posted there. Or go to one of the restaurants we mentioned, and they have some bingo cards in there. If a restaurant happens to be closed in your row, go to any restaurant in Maui and we'll honor that. If you're on the mainland, buy gift certificates and still play bingo, post, and do the weekly game. Boy, I'm done.
Yep. No. Support South Maui, Maui restaurants. Yeah. And then tune in tomorrow. Losing track of days already. Thursday, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Hawaii time, we're doing another virtual open house at a little higher end, 2 luxury properties in Wailea. So make sure you check that out.
And Kenny, will we be on? I'm sorry, Jordan. Will we be on all? If wherever they're watching right now, will we be on those same platforms?
Yes, we will.
So if you're watching us, whatever place you're watching us on, just go there tomorrow. Sorry, Jordan, I cut you off. I just wanted
No, that's perfect. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.